This is a paradigm shift, my friends, and this is a game changer in relationships, in your job, in pursuing the things that are dreams in your mind. Because the more you can focus on what you want and not be distracted by the absence of it, the more inspiration, the more impulses, the more inclinations you're going to get that are going to lead you down that path to getting what you want.
Hello, and welcome to the Love Your Work Life podcast. I'm your host, Elissa Shuck. Whether you're going for that next promotion, looking for a job, or making a career pivot, I'll teach you how to navigate it all so you can have the career you want.
Welcome to Love Your Work Life, episode 149. Even as I record this, I have no idea what the title of this episode is going to be. I've written some things down, scribbled some things out. So, hey, your guess is as good as mine. By the time you listen to this, I will have made a decision. But here's the gist. Here's the core message of this episode. And that is, if you want to accomplish anything, if you want to land a new job, if you want to take your team to a new level, anything that you desire for your life, the best way to accomplish it is to focus on what you want without allowing the distraction of not having it to infiltrate your mind. It's kind of a mind-blowing thought when you think about it, because the whole reason you want something is because you don't have it, right? The whole reason you want that new job is because you don't have the promotion that you desire and deserve. Maybe the whole reason you want a new job is the absence of one. You don't have one. You were laid off. Maybe the reason you want to create a new, awesome team dynamic is because nobody is getting along right now. And not getting along means you're not getting things done. So how do we do it? So how do we focus on what we want without the absence of it interfering? And why is this important? Because when you focus on the absence of what you're aiming for, that it is lacking in your life, it's not there. You don't have it yet. When you focus on that, it's a distraction. And what happens when we are distracted, my friends? I have the kind of a brain that if I let it, will get really distracted. And it doesn't matter if I am doing yard work, cleaning the house, working on a project. It can be easy to let our minds wander from one thing to the next. Maybe you even think of it like, oh, I'm just multitasking. Have you ever multitasked and gotten anything done in the allotted time that you wanted to have it done? Distractions cause problems. Distractions means things take longer. Even the mental distraction of not having the thing that you want and desire. Now, when I first started thinking about this concept, and I was actually coaching a client, we were talking about the mindset that's so helpful when you go into any kind of an interview conversation, or let's be real, anything about your job search in general. And that is to detach from the outcome. In a weird way, it's kind of like playing hard to get. Like, oh, yeah, this interview's great. If I get the job, fine. If I don't, fine. I've got lots of other opportunities. Like, if you could go into a meeting with that mindset, It's so freeing. It's incredibly powerful because you can be yourself. You're not sliding into convincing energy or thinking that you've got to prove something to somebody. You were invited. You're going to take it as it comes, and then you're going to move on. So powerful. Now, as we were talking about this, the thought of focus on what you want without allowing the distraction of not having it started to enter into our conversation. And the visual that popped into my head was a donut. Now, hang in there with me here. When we eat a donut, we focus on the donut, right? We do not focus on the fact that, hey, this thing has a hole in the middle of it, and what's missing? What's going on? This isn't everything. And if you focus on the hole in the middle of the donut, you're missing out on the deliciousness of the treat. It's that negative space, even. If we want to put it in artistic terms, the hole in the donut is negative space. Focusing on the not having it, focusing on the lack or what's missing is focusing on the negative instead of the positive, instead of the actual thing. It's also kind of like the more we talk about a problem, the bigger the problem gets. When if we would instead decide to talk solutions, to let the lack of something or the problem of something be what it is, but not be all consuming. Have you ever gotten into a conversation with someone when things just got bigger and bigger and bigger in not the best possible way, right? Well, it's because we were focused on the negative. We were focused on the problem. The rule applies when you focus on the solution. Hey, how are we going to fix this? What do we have in terms of resources? What could we do differently? Notice that that is focused on the solution. That is focused on the donut, on the thing that does exist. It's focused on the thing you do want instead of the absence of it. This is a paradigm shift, my friends, and this is a game changer in relationships, in your job, in pursuing the things that are dreams in your mind. Because the more you can focus on what you want and not be distracted by the absence of it, the more inspiration, the more impulses, the more inclinations you're going to get that are going to lead you down that path to getting what you want. Allowing the distraction of not having it is like resistance. It's like you resisting you. All the ideas, all the information, all the inclinations exist either within you already through experiences that you've accumulated, through your natural behavioral strengths. You know, I'm big on that. It's super important to have a really clear picture and understanding and self-awareness about what makes you unique, behaviorally, what makes you tick as a person, because when you know that, you can leverage it. It's a compass for you. So that if something starts to feel out of whack, you find yourself adjusting, you can just say, oh, okay, well, yeah, that's not one of my strengths. That's okay. Back to the topic here. Those inspirations, inclinations, instincts within you are a guidance system. And when you allow your guidance system to be operative, like attracts like. It's why when you focus on a solution, the brainstorming goes so much better. It attracts solutions. What does focusing on a problem do for you? It makes the problem bigger or even invites more problems. I would love for you to think of the snowball effect. Is that going to be the title? I would love for you to think of that in the most positive way possible through intentionally focusing and doing it without any resistant thoughts whatsoever. So how do you not have resistant thoughts, you may be asking? Well, first of all, I have mentioned this before probably, but every promotion I ever got, every level that I moved to in my career or that I led my team to happened because I visualized it as if it already existed. That was the reality I was living in my own mind. And that's exactly how the inclinations, instincts, impulses, and ideas started flowing. That outer reality had to start matching my inner reality. That's just the way it works. You can call it woo-woo stuff or you can call it brain physiology. I'm okay either way, quite frankly. But the bottom line is when you focus on the solution, you focus on the desired result, and you start living it in your mind as if it is now instead of coming, as if it is now instead of absent, things move a lot easier and a lot faster. So that's the first thing. Start living in your mind as if you already have it. The second thing that can be super helpful in managing your way, and I'm not saying it's easy to focus on what you want and not have the distraction of not having it float around in your brain. It's a habit to be developed for sure. It's so worth it. The second thing that I want you to do is focus on satisfaction. When you consider that you have already achieved the desired result, your team is wowing you on a daily basis, you landed that great job, how is it that you feel? Now, you may feel elated. That's great. It's a little bit of an extreme emotion, and I think sometimes it's hard for us to really feel that in our bones on a regular basis because it is such a high, extreme kind of emotion. But you can feel satisfied. Satisfaction in something like a great family experience, everybody sitting around a table, enjoying each other, laughing, having a great conversation. Isn't that the feeling of pure satisfaction? I've had those experiences. I bet you have too. So what you want to do is you want to find the thought that gets you feeling more satisfied. It's like the vacation that's coming and it's inevitable. You don't stress out about it. You're not even feeling elated yet because you're not there, but you're feeling satisfied because you know it's coming. You know you've planned for it. You know all the pieces are coming together. My friends, you can choose to feel that way anytime you want. And when you do, it's going to help you eliminate the distractions of not having it. It's going to help you focus on the yumminess of the donut instead of what happened to that little piece that they took away. And thirdly, I want you to kind of think of yourself like a magnet. Before I go into this, I tried to do a little research on the science of magnets, and it was a little too much for my brain. But here's the analogy. If you think of yourself as a magnet, then you are attracting certain things. You're attracting whatever it is that you are radiating. Let's put it that way. So what are you radiating? Are you radiating problems, discomfort, fear, struggle? Then you are going to attract like attracts like. Then you're going to attract more problems, more struggle, more frustration. If you, even in the slightest effort and moment, just radiate satisfaction, just radiate it's okay, just radiate any little piece of evidence that you've been through this before and you always come out on the other side, then guess what's going to happen? You're going to attract getting through it. You're going to attract the resources, the people, the ideas, even the resilience required to make it through that event and to ultimately get what you want. There are also some universal laws at play here. The universe is always expanding, and so are we. The universe is not worried about what's missing. Think about that for a second. Focus on what's coming. Focus on what's possible instead of the absence of it. And you'll be putting yourself in a mindset to not only attract more of the good things, but to achieve all of the really cool stuff that you have in mind for yourself, your team, and ultimately your career. All right, my friends, I'll talk to you again soon. If you like listening to this podcast, I invite you to visit the Love Your Work Life website at elissashuck-careercoach.com. On the site, you're going to find free resources and information about all of my coaching programs, everything you need to land a great job, advance your career, and lead and build an awesome team. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast and don't forget to follow me on LinkedIn.